Hi everyone, this is Melissa from Double or Nothing Reads. Thanks for joining us today for another issue of In the Crow. As promised, today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about a really awesome embouchure exercise that you can do using only your reed. It is an exercise that will help strengthen your embouchure. It will help your embouchure get a lot more flexibility in it. And it will help you figure out if that reed that you've been playing on, that's your favorite reed, is really as awesome as you think it is. A good reed, if a reed is really truly good, it will be able to complete this entire exercise with no problems. So let's get started. The only thing you'll need for this, again, is a reed and a tuner, unless you happen to have perfect pitch, and then I'm really jealous, but I just use a simple tuner on my phone called Tuner Lite. It's a free tuner. You can get it on the App Store, and it both sounds and registers the pitch, so it's really helpful. So I'm going to use my tuner because I don't have perfect pitch. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to explain it first because it's hard to do it while I'm playing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is find a C on my reed. And once I find a C on my reed, I'm going to hold it steady for a few seconds and then just do 3 repetitions just holding the C. So I'll demonstrate that first. So now I know where a C is on my reed. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to roll my embouchure out just a little bit, and therefore also rolling the reed out a little bit. And I'm going to take the C down to a B. So I'm going to roll out a half step so that the C goes to a B, and then I'm going to go back to C. And I'm going to do that 3 times. Once you've gotten that perfected, you can roll out a little more and go from C down to B flat, back up to C. And we want to make sure that the intervals are true. So we want our C to be a true C, our B to be a true B, our B flat to be a true B flat, and so forth and so on. We don't want to kind of roll back up to a flat C or roll down to a sharp B. We want the intervals to be true half steps as much as you can manage. So I did C to B, now I'm going to do C to B flat. And ideally, this exercise needs to be done with your hands off the reed because we aren't able to physically pull the reed out of our mouths when we're playing the oboe. All of the work comes here from the corners of your embouchure. So as you're doing this exercise, it really might start to burn, and that's good. It's just like doing sit-ups or push-ups or planks or anything else. This is push-ups literally for your embouchure. So I did C to B, and now I'm going to go back and do C to B flat. So first, again, find my true C. So that was C to B flat. And my intervals weren't perfect there. But again, it's something to continue working on to get that true half-step interval. Okay, now I'm going to go from C down to A. And this one is going to be the most challenging, of course. If you're doing this for the first time, you're literally probably going to feel like you're spitting the reed out of your mouth. But you have to maintain control. And you might not be ready to do C to A. That is, after all, a step and a half. So you can start with just C to B, and then once that gets good, you can go C to B flat, and then you can do C to A. So I find my C again. And ideally, I would do this all in one exercise instead of, stopping to talk or stopping to scrape on reeds or anything. It's just all in one big step so you can really get it in your ear. So that was C down to A. And then you can even go one step further and combine them all. C to B flat, C to A. You can make little songs out of it, however you want to challenge yourself. When I do reed drills, I do 5 times through. I do C to B 5 times, C to B flat 5 times, and C to A 5 times. Now, the next step to this exercise is you've played by half steps down to A. Now it's time to play half steps up. So just like you can ought to be able to go a step and a half down, your embouchure ought to be able to go a step and a half up. Now for me, going down is easier. You will definitely find that one way is much easier to do than the other. For me, going down is easier, but I know that for some people going up is way easier than going down. It just depends on whether you're the type of person that prefers to loosen up or whether you're a really uptight person with a tight embouchure and playing sharp isn't hard for you, then going up won't be difficult for you. So our first interval up is going to be C to C sharp. So again, we find the C and then we roll our embouchure in to go up to C sharp. Now it's very important that you roll your embouchure in and roll the reed in with it instead of biting. So that's something to be very, very careful of. We don't want to bite the pitch up. We want to roll the pitch up. So that's C to C sharp. Then we'll go C to D. And then the hardest one, at least for me, is going C to D sharp or C to E flat. And as you can see, as I'm doing that, I'm working really hard and my eyebrows are going up too. So if your reed is truly a good reed, and if your embouchure is as flexible as it should be, then you can play a half step up to D sharp or E flat, and you can play as much as, a step and a half up to E flat and a step and a half down to A. So the range of the flexibility of your reed and your embouchure is that far. It's actually 3 steps, step and a half in each direction. So the point being, if you have a reed that plays a little flat or a reed that plays a little sharp, that's not the ideal situation. But if your embouchure is trained and if your embouchure is strong, you can muddle through any rehearsal. You can fight through any concert if you absolutely had to, because your embouchure has the flexibility that it needs to have in order to muscle through. So again, it's not the ideal situation, but unless we're all playing on ideal perfect reeds all the time, then it's just not realistic. So give reed drills a shot. I think you'll be really happy with how they build up your embouchure. It's not even an exercise, it's an exercise that doesn't require your oboe. So you can do them in the car on the way to rehearsal, do them in the car on the way to school, walk around your house, be that person that walks around your house doing reed drills. It's something that you can do fairly easily without putting the oboe together, and there's really no excuse not to do it. So if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to us via email, contact@deannereeds.com, or post a comment in the thread below. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.